Okay, so have you heard about this? This is like something straight out of movie, right? We're talking ancient papyrus scrolls, AI, the whole deal, and a 21-year-old who's making history.
It really makes you realize how powerful it can be to combine different fields of study.
Seriously, who would have thought you could use computer science to unlock secrets that have been buried for like 2,000 years?
What's really fascinating here is how this story, it shows just how much potential there is when you combine things that at first glance seem totally unrelated.
Yeah.
It's a perfect example of how technology can actually breathe new life into the humanities.
Exactly. So our story, it starts with Mount Vesuvius.
Vesuvius.
Yeah, the volcano that buried Pompeii.
Oh, right.
Well, it also took out Herculaneum, and more importantly for us, a library full of scrolls.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, these scrolls, they got scorched, they were buried in ash. It's amazing they even survived.
I bet.
And for centuries, they've been this huge mystery. Like, they are so fragile, you could practically destroy them by looking at them wrong.
I can imagine.
So that's where Dr. Brent Seales and his team come in, right? They developed this incredible 3D X-ray scanning technique. It's like, imagine being able to read a closed book without opening it.
Yeah.
That's essentially what they've achieved.
That's incredible.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's already mind-blowing. But then, how do you even begin to decode something that old?
Well, that's where our 21-year-old computer science whiz, Luke Farritor, comes in.
Okay.
He saw this thing called the Vesuvius Challenge, which is a global competition offering a huge prize to anyone who can crack the code on these scrolls.
Hold on. A global competition with a huge prize. Okay, first of all, tell me more about this Vesuvius Challenge. What's the grand prize? $1 million.
Well, it's not quite $1 million, but it's a significant amount of money.
Okay.
The whole idea is to really encourage this type of groundbreaking research, right? The Vesuvius Challenge is all about pushing the limits of what we thought was possible.
So what you're saying is we've got people from all over the world working on this, trying to bring these ancient texts back to life.
Yeah, exactly. And what's really cool is the range of experts it's attracting. Historians, computer scientists, linguists, you name it. They're all working together towards a common goal.
I love it.
It's a global effort.
So back to our hero, Luke Farritor.
Oh.
He's got these 3D scans, and he basically thinks, I'm going to teach AI to read ancient Greek or Latin, whatever they used back then.
And get this, he actually pulled it off.
What?
He used an algorithm he developed,
Yeah.
right? And managed to decipher a word, purple.
He did it. He used AI to read a language that's been dead for centuries. That's amazing.
He really is incredible. Now, I know what you're thinking. Purple. What's the big deal?
Yeah, okay, why is purple such a big deal?
Think of it like this. It's like finding a piece of the Rosetta Stone.
Okay.
This one word, it's a game changer. It proves that his method works. And that opens up a world of possibilities for deciphering the rest of the scroll and maybe even countless others.
So you're telling me this one word, purple, means we might be able to read these entire scrolls?
It's a huge step in that direction.
Okay, I'm officially hooked. This is way cooler than any history class I ever took. But let's be real, what are we hoping to find in these texts? Why all the hype?
We're talking about scrolls that could date back to the Roman Republic, even the early Roman Empire.
Oh.
And some experts believe they might contain lost works of Marsyas of Pella, a figure from Alexander the Great's time.
Wait, Alexander the Great, you're not serious. Are we saying we could be about to uncover first-hand accounts of his reign?
It's a possibility.
That's incredible. What kind of information could these scrolls hold about him? Like, what are we hoping to find?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Marsyas of Pella was supposedly part of Alexander's inner circle, so these scrolls could give us insights into his court, his military strategies, even his personality, things we've only ever been able to speculate about.
Okay, I need a minute to process this. We're talking about potentially rewriting history books, and it all hinges on this one word, purple.
It really is amazing, right?
That's wild.
And it doesn't stop there. These scrolls, they might also have writings by Seneca the Elder. He was a really famous Roman rhetorician, a historian. Just imagine. First-hand accounts of the Roman Republic's decline, the rise of the Roman Empire, maybe even some juicy gossip about the emperors.
All right, you've sold me. What kind of stuff could we learn about the Roman Republic and the Roman Empire from these scrolls? What are historians dying to know?
Imagine gaining a deeper understanding of how the Roman Republic's government worked. Its strengths, its weaknesses, the factors that led to its collapse. This is just ancient history. These are insights that could change how we see political systems today.
Okay, hold on. So we've got groundbreaking technology, a brilliant young mind, and the possibility of rewriting history. This is huge. What's next? What are the challenges in actually deciphering all of this?
Well, that's where it gets even more interesting.
Okay, so we're like right on the edge of our seats here. These scrolls could be a goldmine for understanding ancient Rome, but it's not just a matter of like running it all through an AI and calling it a day, right? What has to happen to actually decipher these things?
You hit the nail on the head. It's definitely not that simple. We're dealing with some seriously fragmented texts here.
Yeah.
Imagine trying to put together this puzzle, but half the pieces are missing, and the ones you do have, they're all, like, charred and faded.
Yeah, that sounds like a nightmare. So how do you even begin to tackle that?
Well, that's where the real detective work comes in. Once the AI identifies potential letters, words, it all has to be checked against known texts from that same period, right? Historians, papyrologists, basically experts in ancient writing, will meticulously analyze every little thing, the script, the language, the context, to fill in those gaps. It's a huge undertaking.
So it really is like a giant puzzle, but instead of just one picture, we're trying to rebuild whole chapters of history.
Exactly. And the possibilities there, they are massive. Think about it. These scrolls could give us insights into how the Roman Republic's government actually functioned. Its strengths, its weaknesses, what made it ultimately collapse. This isn't just ancient history. This is stuff that can help us understand our own political systems today.
Whoa, hold up a sec. So we're not just talking about satisfying our curiosity about the past. You're saying this could have real-world, like practical relevance to how we understand things today.
Oh, absolutely. And then we have Seneca the Elder.
Right.
His writings, they could offer us a glimpse into the everyday lives of Romans. Their customs, beliefs, struggles, everything. It's like stepping back in time and seeing the world through their eyes.
I know. It's crazy to think that these fragile pieces of papyrus could hold so much information about a whole civilization that's been gone for centuries. It's amazing.
Right. It really speaks to the power of the written word, doesn't it? Even after being buried for millennia, forgotten, these scrolls can still teach us things, challenge us, connect us to the past. It's pretty incredible.
Okay, so we've talked about the scrolls, the potential discoveries, the sheer scale of all of this. But let's go back to Luke Farritor for a second. Here's a guy, right? He's got job offers from places like SpaceX, and he chooses to devote himself to ancient history. That's next level dedication.
It's truly inspiring. It reminds us that passion, intellectual curiosity, those things are powerful motivators. It shows that sometimes pursuing knowledge, just the pursuit itself, that's the real reward.
You're preaching to the choir, turning down SpaceX to decipher scrolls. Now, that's something you don't hear every day, but this is bigger than one person, right?
Exactly. This is about combining human ingenuity with cutting-edge tech. The Vesuvius Challenge, the fact that it's global, collaborative, it just proves what's possible when brilliant minds come together to solve a mystery.
It's like we're watching an Indiana Jones movie, but instead of going after some artifact, it's about lost knowledge. And this is only the beginning, right? What other secrets are tucked away in those scrolls, just waiting to be found? We'll get into that right after this.
All right, so we're back. And I gotta say, my mind is still blown from all this talk about ancient secrets. It really feels like we're on the verge of something massive here. But what happens next, right? Say Luke or someone figures out how to read even more of these scrolls. What then?
That's when the really exciting part starts. Deciphering the text, it's really just step one.
Okay.
After that comes the really detailed work of translating it, analyzing it, figuring out what it all means.
So it's not as simple as just running it all to Google Translate. Not even close. We're talking about understanding a language that hasn't been spoken for centuries. All the little nuances. It takes a deep understanding of the historical context, the culture, all the subtle ways meaning can be conveyed.
Right, makes sense. You can't just take it all at face value. You need real experts to make sense of it all.
Exactly. You'll have historians and philologists. These guys, they'll spend years, decades even, going over these texts, comparing them to other stuff we know, debating their interpretations. It's a long process, but it's how we piece together a clear picture of the past.
Wow, that's commitment. It's like a relay race, you know? Luke and his AI, they pass the baton to the historians and they take it from there.
I like that analogy. It really is a team effort. Every discipline brings something unique to the table to help uncover these mysteries.
And we could be talking about changing our entire understanding of history, right? Like, what if these scrolls tell us that what we thought we knew was totally wrong?
It's true. History isn't set in stone. Every new discovery has the potential to change our perspective, and that's what makes this so exciting.
It's like they say, the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Every answer just leads to more questions, and that's what makes it all so fascinating. We're not just filling in blanks here. We're expanding our whole understanding of who we are, where we came from, the whole shebang.
Totally. So as we wait for the next big breakthrough in the Vesuvius Challenge, what should our listeners be taking away from all of this?
I think the biggest takeaway is this. The past, it's not really the past. It's alive with stories and knowledge that still matters today. And with technology always advancing, who knows what other secrets we're going to uncover?
It reminds us to never stop questioning, never stop exploring. There's a whole world of knowledge out there waiting to be discovered. So next time you think about ancient history, don't just picture those old textbooks and ruins. Think about the people who lived back then, their stories. We get to hear them now, and that's thanks to the amazing work of people like Luke Farritor and so many others who are pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible.